Coming up on the Elon Phoenix Weekly,
we take a look back at the highlights of the fall season
and talk to one of the stars from the men's soccer team.
All that and more next on the Elon Phoenix Weekly. Welcome back to the first spring episode of the Elon Phoenix Weekly. I'm Zora Stevenson.
And I'm David Perrell. For today's show, we take a look back at the fall season and witness some of the highlights from the teams.
From women's volleyball to men's soccer, the fall sports at Elon was exciting across the board.
So sit back and relax as we start running with the cross-country team.
Every second counts. We have heard the saying before, and no team knows it better than the men's and women's cross-country team.
The Elon women's cross-country season got off to a running start with a second-place finish at the Elon Invitational in early September. The goal from the beginning of the season for the women was a SoCon title. They trained all year visualizing that one race, the SoCon Championship. The Phoenix fell just short, losing by 2 points to Furman. 2 weeks later, the women were back in action again at the NCAA Southeast Regional Championship, the last race of their season. They were ranked 14th in the region heading into the race. The Phoenix surpassed their pre-race ranking with a very impressive 9th place finish in the region. The women were led by senior Allison Oram, who set a program record with a 21:15 for the 6K. Coach Christine Engel summed up the race with saying, "It was by far our best team performance of the year, and I'm really proud." On the men's side, Luis Vargas led the men's team throughout the season, racking up 2 SoCon Runner of the Month awards. At the SoCon Championships, Vargas led the team. He finished a stellar 3rd, behind 2 All-Americans. In the final race of the year, the NCAA Southeast Regional, Vargas covered the 10K course in a time of 29:46, which was good for a new school record and all-region honors. The men's team started off this season with a first-place finish at the Elon Invitational and continued from there to set personal bests throughout the season. The men's team rounded out the season with a 7th-place finish at the SoCon Championship and will look to improve on that next fall. The success this fall season did not just stop on the cross-country course for both teams. The men had 2 all-conference academic honorees, while the women's team had an Elon High 10. Both teams will be back in action next fall.
The Harriers' success has continued into the winter. Allison Oram captured the 3,000 meters at the SoCon Indoor Track and Field Championships.
And that brings us to today's trivia. During what year did the Elon men's soccer team first begin to play? The answer to that coming up later in the show.
Rudd Field was full of success this year as the women's soccer team had quite the winning season, with a trip to the Southern Conference Championship and an appearance in the national rankings. Coach Chris Neal takes us through what was the best season in program history.
After posting a losing record in 2012, the 2013 Elon women's soccer team saw a turnaround for the ages, posting the winningest season in program history.
The biggest difference between winning more games this year than last year has been the number of chances we've created. That's directly related to the personnel and the number of players we've been able to use. We've always got fresh legs on the field, and we changed our style a little bit.
With that style, the team was able to pile up 13 wins on the season, including 7 right at home. Phoenix was undefeated on their home turf with 7 wins, 0 losses, and 3 ties.
Well, it's always familiar, and then there's always the added benefit. We've had great support from the student body and other athletic teams this year, and we've got 8 seniors, so Lots of their families and friends were always around. Inevitably, there's a different energy level involved with playing in front of friends and family.
Without a doubt, one of the team's major strengths this season was their offense, as the squad was not shut out in a single game this year.
Prior to each game, we just talked about trying to do what we do well. And fortunately, we just continued to score each game. But we never made the naive mistake of talking about it with the team and jinxing ourselves in that fashion.
All of the success on the field for the Phoenix finally paid off for them in the polls.
Our first regional ranking in the Southeast region, for people that aren't aware of that, we are in the same region with the ACC, which is the best soccer conference in the country. So for a mid-major, to get recognition within that group, it's really a compliment to the players for their total body of work over the year.
Without a doubt, the spark throughout the season was striker Nicole Denyon, who as a sophomore became the first Elon women's soccer player to be named Southern Conference Player of the Year.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand her value to the team. She is competitive as they come, and she wants to win worse than, more than anybody. So I think that this team is balanced, and inevitably Nicole's award as the Southern Conference Player of the Year is also reflective of her teammates' support and the team providing that stage for Nicole to succeed.
Heading into the Southern Conference tournament, Coach Neal was confident his team had the talent and the skills. His concern, keeping the team relaxed.
I showed up in practice with jeans on, just to make the team, to show a laid-back, positive, confident coach that I wasn't going to take this like something we don't do every day.
Elon made it all the way to the tournament finals, where they fell to Furman in a closely contested game. However, for Coach Neal, losing the game was nothing compared to losing his seniors.
I've been asked a number of times, what's the hardest part about collegiate coaching? The only answer to that question is the toughest part about coaching in college is seeing your seniors leave the program and knowing inevitably they're going to leave. They're going to have to move on.
Though the team did lose 8 seniors, Southern Conference Player of the Year Nicole Denyon will be returning next season and will look to keep the recent program success rolling in the right direction.
It's time for our first commercial break, but first, let's take a look at some upcoming games for the Phoenix. Don't go anywhere, because when we return, we look at a historic season for the men's soccer team and sit down with one of its stars.
You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
Through their daily pursuit of excellence, Elon student athletes have gained recognition for their achievements both on and off the field.
Building a winning tradition takes hard work and dedication.
Dedication to the Maroon life.
Where success is not only measured by just wins and trophies, but also by the knowledge we gain.
At Elon, we're more than just athletes.
We're student athletes.
Providing support enables success, helps sustain the winning tradition of Elon athletics, while securing the future of our student athletes for years to come.
The Elon Phoenix Weekly is made possible by the students of the School of Communications in association with the dedicated coaches, athletes, and staff of Elon Athletics.
The men's soccer team had a season for the ages that saw the team win their third straight Southern Conference title and their first ever NCAA tournament game. Check out a recap of the 2013 season that the team will never forget.
The 2013 Elon men's soccer season can be described in many ways. Memorable, historic, three-peat, unreal, the best season in program history. Coming into the season, head coach Darren Powell and the team had to deal with the loss of leading goal scorer Chris Thomas and all SoCon member Gabe Latigue, but the team was able to fill the void just fine. The team started out very well, going undefeated in 2 early season tournaments. The strong play helped propel the team to a 9-1-1 record, the best start in the Division I era. That record included a big-time win over number 9 Wake Forest in mid-September, the 3rd straight win for the Phoenix over the Demon Deacons. The strong start was attributed to both their offense and their defense. Leading goal scorer and assist man Jason Waterman, as well as Southern Conference Player of the Year Daniel Lovitz, led the offense. The brick wall that is goalie Nathan Dean anchored the defense that was top 2 in the conference in goals allowed. The team had a couple of setbacks in SoCon play, but was able to bounce back in late October against number 6 Coastal Carolina, a team Elon had lost to 4 times in the past 2 years. The Elon men were able to pull off the upset at Rudd Field thanks to a late penalty kick goal from Daniel Lovitz. The win really gave the team some momentum heading into the final part of the season. In the final game of the regular season, the team had a chance to share the regular season title, but Wofford won, so Elon had to beat UNCG at home to clinch the 2 seed in the SoCon tournament. The Spartans, though, had other ideas as they jumped out to a 3-1 lead in the second half. But the Phoenix had a furious rally, including 2 Waterman goals, and wound up winning 4-3. In the first round of the Southern Conference tournament, the Phoenix drew App State at Rudd Field. After tons of chances couldn't find the back of the net for Elon, App State scored, and the Phoenix's hope of three-peating looked bleak. But the team was resilient, and they were able to put one in the goal off of Nathan Deal's foot. The match would go into PKs, and it would take 9 rounds of PKs for this match to be decided. Dean was able to make a stop, and after that Nick Burley put it in for the win as the Phoenix advanced to the semifinals. The Phoenix took care of Georgia Southern fairly easily in the semis and was off to the finals to defend their championship against top seed Wofford. The weather made the game and field conditions very wet, and it forced the teams to be quite defensive. No one was able to put any points on the board as the game went into overtime and double overtime. It was looking as if the game may go into penalty kicks, but Waterman made one final run and was able to push it past Wofford's goalkeeper for the win. That was it, the three-peat. 3 straight Southern Conference titles, 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Elon was only the 2nd team in SoCon history to win 3 straight titles. The Phoenix had done it. And for Darren Powell, this was his 94th win with Elon, making him the winningest coach in Elon history. After 2 straight NCAA tournament games on the road, the NCAA finally granted Elon with a home match against ACC opponent Clemson. So word went out. The team wanted the fans to come out and pack the fence. And pack the fence they did as over 3,300 fans watched the men take on Clemson. The match was back and forth in the first half, but no one was able to put one in. In the second half, the Phoenix were able to break through first, and it was once again Jason Waterman. Waterman was able to squeak past some defenders and put the ball in the back of the net, giving Elon the 1-0 advantage and sending Rudd Field into a ruckus. But Clemson was able to tie it back up later in the half, and had chances to take the lead, but keeper Nathan Dean was as solid as could be and kept the game tied and sent it into PKs. Elon's first 3 shooters all made their shots, while 2 of Clemson's players missed their shots. So it was up to Jason Waterman to seal the victory and send the team on to Los Angeles. The hero from earlier in the night and the hero of the SoCon Finals certainly was not going to miss his shot, as he makes it and sends everyone into absolute hysteria as students rush the field to celebrate the big win.
Absolutely fantastic, you understand? Absolutely brilliant. Just look around you. We sat here this morning and we imagined this moment, you understand? Now, imagine Sunday when we beat UCLA in Los Angeles.
Unfortunately for Elon, the journey would end in Los Angeles as the team fell 4-0 to the top-seeded UCLA Bruins. Despite the loss, the season was still something the coaches, the players, and the fans will never forget.
The team made it farther than any other Elon soccer team in Division I history and will look to continue that success in 2014.
Now, the answer to today's trivia. Earlier we asked, during what year did the Elon men's soccer team first begin to play? The answer, 1972. Elon played its first men's soccer contest against Guilford College. The result? Well, the team won 2-1.
Earlier we recapped the men's soccer season. Now we talk to the hero of the season, Jason Waterman, who sat down with our own Ben Naughton to discuss the Clemson game and his overall recap of the season.
The junior from Bloomington, Indiana stands ready. He runs up, he takes the kick, and he scores! A storybook season for the Phoenix as another chapter which will be written in Hollywood. Elon has won the opening round game of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, as the story goes, they get another goal.
Yeah.
Time expires. We'll take it piece by piece. What's going through your mind? Time expires, we're going into PKs. What are you thinking right then?
Going into the penalties against Clemson, penalties is a place we found ourselves before. Obviously in the App State game, we got 9 deep and only missed 1. So that was something that we kind of knew that we could hang our hats on. And penalties is really just a test of skill and mental fortitude. And we do a lot of conditioning and work really hard to be in shape. So that sort of helps with the fatigue at that point, which makes your skill a little bit better and also provides sort of that mental strength that you can do this, you can persist and all that stuff. So we just try and, at half field, we're just trying to like crack jokes and like make each other laugh. And some people are better at it than others, but everyone's just trying to relax everyone because a penalty is just so simple. And the only way you can like mess it up is if you really choke. Well, fortunately for us, nobody on our team really choked. Being 4th on the list, I didn't think I was going to have a chance to win it, but Clemson had missed 2. I believe Nathan made a great save on 1. The other was not very good at all. And so I watched them miss theirs, and as I'm about to run up, I thought for a second, oh wait, if I hit this, do we win? And I realized that we did. Thankfully, that would have been awkward if I scored and we hadn't won and I took my shirt off. But so I just went up there, and you become really self-conscious of everything you're doing. So when everyone's eyes are on you, what does my jog look like? Like, what do I do with my hands and different things like that? And that's the kind of stuff you have to overcome because that's basically how you choke. So I just started thinking about all the people who supported me, and in one sense, you don't want to let anyone down. I mean, the seniors on the team who this could be their last game ever, our coaches who work so hard for us, all the fans who had showed up, you don't want to let down the fans who'd been there for 110 minutes. That's the type of thing I try and think about, just trying to relax, just passing the ball into the corner. And I mean, I barely remember anything after that moment. as soon as I kicked it, I knew the goalie wasn't going to get to it. And again, I think I started taking my shirt off before it hit the net. But, I mean, just that feeling when the ball went in the net, and I knew we'd gotten farther as a team than we ever had before, and to do it in front of the fans was unbelievable.
I guess we'll put the team aside for a second. I mean, it's not easy, obviously, for an athlete to talk about themselves because you're so centered on the team, obviously. But if you talk about, you didn't come in as a scholarship player, and that's well known now. Talk about just the moment when you found out you were going to be a Elon soccer scholarship athlete.
Yeah. Well, I guess the process, I did come in freshman year as an unrecruited student. Coach Powell never heard of me at the time. We just sort of randomly met in the gym, and I emailed him and was hassling him about, hey, I'm pretty good at soccer, you should let me try out. And so eventually I got that tryout, and it was really intense and a lot of pressure, and I was really nervous about it, but I just put my nose down and put in work as much as I could, and he really saw that work ethic, even if at that point I was pretty raw talent, to say the least. But he invested in me then, and that investment really paid off this year.
So when you look back on the 2013 men's soccer season, how do you describe it? What are I mean, obviously you have the goals, you have all that. What does Jason Waterman, how does Jason Waterman sum it up if someone asks in passing or quickly?
Yeah. Well, it's funny, if someone asks me about, it's like, hey, how'd last season go? I'm like, yeah, it went well. Thanks for asking. But more specifically, I mean, I just remember the cohesiveness of the team, really, and just everyone working for each other. And no matter what the results were, I'd still have my teammates there. And I always remember the seniors who we had this year, who some of them will never play again. Obviously, others are continuing to play professionally. But I always remember my teammates, especially the ones who graduated from that season, and look back upon it fondly.
To see the full interview, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Elon Phoenix Weekly.
And that brings us to today's history.
On this day in Elon sports history, we take a look back at the revival of the Elon track and field program. Track and field returned to Elon in the spring of 1950. During that year, the Fighting Christians only competed in one meet, the North State Conference. They brought home 8 first-place finishes, led by freshman sensation Lee Greenwood, who placed first in high hurdles and high jump, but the team ultimately fell short to Guilford College. The Fighting Christians captured the North State Conference title from Guilford in 1951. During the next 3 seasons, the team placed third at the meet as they searched for a new coach, until 1954 when Scott Boyd became the head of track and field. The team took back the title in 1955, winning 3 of 4 dual meets during the regular season, with big wins over Wake Forest, Guilford, and High Point. The 1950s brought Elon track and field 15 conference championships, 3 District 26 titles, and 3 division crowns. And that's today's look into Elon sports history.
We have to take our second commercial break, but before we go, here are some more upcoming Elon athletic events.
When we return, we take a closer look at the Elon women's volleyball team.
You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
Through their daily pursuit of excellence, Elon student athletes have gained recognition for their achievements both on and off the field.
Building a winning tradition takes hard work and dedication.
Dedication to the Maroon life.
Where success is not only measured by just wins and trophies, but also by the knowledge we gain.
At Elon, we're more than just athletes.
We're student athletes.
Providing support enables success, helps sustain the winning tradition of Elon Athletics, while securing the future of our student athletes for years to come.
You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
Welcome back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on your ESPN2 local sports break.
Voted to place 6th in the Southern Conference, the Elon women's volleyball team aimed to exceed expectations in 2013. Let's take a look at the season in review.
A 16-17 overall record on the season does not properly tell the story of Elon's women's volleyball team at the 2013 season. Elon struggled early on in the year in their first 2 tournaments, going 1-5 in those games. But then the Phoenix won 6 of their next 7, including 2 of 3 at the Phoenix Classic and Alumni Gym, and 3 wins in the 49er Invitational in Charlotte to get back on track as conference play began in late September. The Phoenix showed incredible fight all year, with 6 5-set wins, including coming back from down 2-0 twice on the road against the Citadel and Chattanooga. But in mid-October, junior middle blocker and stat sheet stuffer Chris Harris suffered a season-ending knee injury, ending a season that still earned her second-team All-State honors for the 2nd straight year. With Harris out, the Phoenix needed a complete team effort to fill in for her offensive and defensive contributions. Elon showed their toughness by winning 3 straight 5-set matches, led by 2 triple-doubles from senior Callie Estes and the impressive defensive effort by freshman middle blocker Allie Carl, who had 16 blocks in those 3 matches alone. Estes was named 2nd-team All-Conference for her contributions in every facet of the game. In her final season at Elon, she recorded 6 triple-doubles overall and set new career highs in kills, assists, digs, blocks, and aces. And Allie Carl was named to the Southern Conference's All-Freshman team. Carl had big shoes to fill at middle blocker when Harris went down with her injury, but she led the team with a .298 hitting percentage and averaged almost a block per set on the year. The Phoenix made the Southern Conference tournament for the 4th straight year, but the 2013 season ended in a quarterfinals loss to #1 seed and eventual conference champion Georgia Southern. This season was the final one of the maroon and gold for senior right side hitter Callie Estes and defensive specialist Maggie Richard. Richard was the team's libero for most of the season and led the team with 426 digs. She was 4th on the team in assists and 5th in aces, and Richard was also named to the Academic All-Conference team for the 3rd straight year. It was an up-and-down season for the Phoenix in 2013, but next year, Elon will have an experienced squad with 3 seniors and 4 juniors ready to lead the way.
Elon will miss graduating seniors Callie Estes and Maggie Richard, but 5 returning starters and an overall experienced squad have Coach Tendler and the Phoenix looking forward to a successful season next fall.
Well, that's our show for today. If you missed anything or want to watch it again, be sure to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Elon Phoenix Weekly.
You can also watch us on Time Warner Cable, channel 1083, to watch us on demand.
Also, be sure to visit elonphoenix.com, your #1 source for all the maroon and gold buzz.
On behalf of our producers and crew here at the show, we hope you continue to have a spectacular weekend.
For the Elon Phoenix Weekly, I'm David Perrell.
And I'm Zora Stevenson. See you next week.